Hey guys, so I budgeted for 1 month and I figured out my expenses a little bit during vet school, so let's talk about it. Wow, that was so good. It's like a waffle, but not a waffle. First things first, the washer is going. Chester might jump up and decide that he wants something as it is almost time for his walk. So there might be some noises in the background, but it's okay. Let's get to talking about budgeting, money, and student loans, and just overall what we have to talk about today. I just got off work and I realized that it would be a great time for me to talk about my budget and how I navigate money, loans, and everything during vet school, and hopefully to help out some undergrad people coming into vet school. If you are anything like me, you just had no idea what was going on, how to operate. So I figured I would share my experience with you guys. In undergrad, I just didn't know what was going to be happening, whether it was loans, how to go about the process. Now you might be a little bit different and able to understand loans and FAFSA in undergrad and then be able to just transfer it over, and it's just being super simple. But if you're like me, I just had no idea. First things first, if you are applying for FAFSA and everything else that goes along with FAFSA, and you don't know if you've gotten accepted to your vet school yet, just go ahead and put in the schools that you applied to for FAFSA. That way when you get your acceptance, say it's after the FAFSA due date, then the university that you applied to and will be going to in the fall already have your information and that you've already completed it. That way you don't miss out on any opportunities for FAFSA. As far as I know, FAFSA was super simple still. It was for me when I was going through it. All I had to do was fill out my information. I had already done it before, so it was literally just copy and paste and then saying that I was a graduate student going into a doctorate or veterinarian program. So my side of things for FAFSA was not that difficult, but it was around the time that they changed the FAFSA filling out information and how the whole process was accomplished. So I was a little bit nervous on how to get it done, which is why I started it as soon as it came out. However, applying for the graduate program / doctorate / veterinarian school, it wasn't that difficult. So it really was nothing to fear, but again, I don't know if they're changing it by the time you're applying. So just take it with a grain of salt when you're applying for the FAFSA, and then just work at it slowly and don't forget to ask questions. After the FAFSA is submitted, your schools will receive your information for FAFSA, which will come into play about the first month that you start your school. Every school is different, so I'm not sure on the requirements for both FAFSA and when loans will drop. So just if you need that information, contact the advising or financial services per the veterinarian school. This is something that I contacted them around July, but they were pretty good at keeping us updated on when our loans were going to drop, as well as when the first bill was going to come in. And I'm pretty sure our first bill came into August, but then our loans dropped around that time. Following the loan drop for school, you will get a reimbursement, and that will come about a month or so after the first day of classes, once the tuition has already been set and paid for. Again, this is different for every university, most likely, so just listen to what the faculty and advisors, as well as the financial aid office, has to say on when the loans will be distributed, as well as reimbursed. Now, the loans that you can apply for, there are actually 3. There's the first basic loan that has basically the mid-grade interest rate. That interest will accrue throughout the time that you are in school. And then there is the Grad Plus loan, where you can just ask for a little bit more on top of your already awarded amount. And if you're out of state, typically you're going to get the graduate loan as well as the Grad Plus loan. And then there's the third option, which is the Parent Plus loan. The Parent Plus loan actually has a lower interest rate that accrues over the time that you are in school. However, you have to report that your parents' financial status to the FAFSA in order to be accepted into the program to get the Parent Plus loan. All three of those loans that I just listed have 3 different interest rates, and that they can be found on the FAFSA website to figure out which loan has the lowest interest rate. And it's really important to find the lowest interest rate, but also find the loan that fits you best. Personally, I started with the graduate loan and then went to the Graduate Plus loan, and then you'll go to the Parent Plus loan. However, you can apply for the graduate loan and then apply for the Parent Plus loan and return whatever you don't use for the graduate loan. That way you have a lower amount on the Parent Plus loan for interest rate. So let me restate that. Say that the university and FAFSA awards you $20,000 for the graduate loan. You only need $12,000 of it because the remaining $8,000 you can get with the Parent Plus loan. So you return $8,000 of the loan, and then you take $8,000 from the Parent Plus loan. So now you only have $12,000 for the high interest rate and $8,000 for the low interest rate. So you kind of cut your interest rate down. However, this is reported with your parents, so it will be on your parents' account as well. What's important when you're choosing which loan to have, it's just choosing what's best for you and your situation and whatever you want to do in the next 4 years when you start paying it off. There is a 4th option, which is private loans, but we are instructed to stay away from the private loans as they have a higher interest rate and they can be harder to get unless you have a cosigner, which again would be your parents, which at that point just go with the Parent Plus loan if you are considering it. However, the private loans, if they are what you choose to do, then I don't have any information really on that because I didn't choose to go with the Private Plus loan because they basically make you shy away from it just because of the super high interest rates. Now let's talk about budgeting. So as you're preparing to go into vet school, whether that is in your undergraduate career or you're taking a gap year, it's really important to get an idea of your finances and what your finances will be during vet school. This can consist of logging all of your expenses for a month and putting in the amount, how much you spend per category of things, whether that's housing, food, groceries, dental, medical, gas. Just start organizing it so you know how much you are spending, including eating out and fun money, so then maybe there's some things that you can cut back on. What this is going to do is this is going to show you how much money you spend overall. And then it can help you in the future as you're starting to save for vet school to know how much money you need for just living costs during the month. Something to also consider is to go on to some local apartments in the area where you are considering going to vet school and look up how much the average room, apartment, or house, or anything that you would like to consider renting, how much the monthly payment is and how much utilities are. So then you can budget for those expenses as well as your overall living expenses. Do this for about a month, so 30 days, and then reflect back on it and see if you can cut any expenses. Sorry, I got an anatomy going through my brain. See if you can cut any expenses for the following month, and do this for about 1 to 3 months, depending on how you get the hang of it, and then account for any different spending, whether that's emergencies or putting money away into financing or investments for the future of paying your loans off. Unfortunately, when I was applying, I wasn't exactly sure on how I was going to budget for everything, and I didn't really know how to do it until I actually got to vet school. But now that I'm here, I have logged my expenses for an entire month, and then I know what I am putting away towards gas and everything else for the month. That way I can prepare for the following month. Once I know what a typical month of my spending looks like, I can prepare the next month, and then once I get a hang of it after about 3 months, I can get an idea of what I need to budget over the next 6 months and know where my money is going. After figuring out your budget, whether you're in school or out of school or maybe already in vet school, the next thing is seeing where you can save extra money. So for me, I shop at Kroger's a lot now because they have 4 times fuel points on Friday. So when I go, I might only spend $20 every Friday. And then because I put that in my budget of I get to spend $20 every Friday, say that's what I do. And then it's 4 times fuel points, so I end up with a high amount of fuel points, which then I can get between 50 cents and $1 off my fuel points for the month, which then saves on my gas prices. Also, Kroger's has a bunch of coupons that I can get deals on things, and then they sometimes have this like last minute meat section, so then I always check it out to see if I can get steak or some good meat very cheap because it's the last time that it'll be on sale, as well as bread and everything else. The key for understanding how to pay the absolute minimum during school for groceries and everything else is budgeting. Start watching what's going out of your bank account. If you're on your parents' account, ask them how much they pay per month on anything like that. See if there's anything that you can cut back on, whether that's like Audible or Netflix. Just see what you can cut back on to lower your spending, and then get used to how you would live in vet school, paying the bare minimum for everything, and basically paying enough to be happy and survive. There are multiple different options for grocery shopping, whether it's getting points for shopping for gas or it's just coupons. So keep an eye out for coupons and just deals and programs, as well as club memberships, whether it's through Sam's Club, that you can score some fantastic deals to save on your overall grocery spending or gas spending. The other thing that I would highly recommend is GASBUDDY. If you work GASBUDDY correctly, you can get gas back, which is kind of like cash back that you can put towards your future gas tank, as well as doing something like the Fetch app where you can upload your receipts and then you can plug in, get some points, and then at the end of it, you might be able to get a $50 gift card or a less amount, like $3 I think is the lowest that it goes, but you have access to these gift cards by just uploading receipts. I'll have links to all this information down below, and then you can use some promo codes to get you guys started on your pointage, and then we'll get started with that. But otherwise, just keep an eye out for anything that is like that, whether it's Kroger points, Fetch, or GASBUDDY. Something that I really love about Kroger is they'll have these coupons that come out randomly. Like the other day I went, and it was like with purchase, no matter how much you spent, you could get 1 free yogurt container thing, and it's just a little thing, but like I still got it because that's like breakfast one morning taken care of. And then I went over to the bakery section, and then there was Einstein bagels 50% off, so I got a whole thing of bagels for $1.50, and they're really good bagels. And I did the same thing. I ended up with a nice package of chicken and steak, and I would have never bought steak before now, but doing this whole deal thing, I'm getting steak. The point of this whole thing is to know that there is a way to eat good food, even if you're penny pinching and on a budget for the month. Another option for students is checking out your local student food pantry, if that is an option at the university. It's a quick, easy sign up, so I've heard, and then you have access to whatever the food pantry has to offer. Sometimes they have come and go, take what you need and leave what you can at the local schools. Just look into any options that you have the ability to reach out to if you are looking for food. Don't starve, try to find it. Everyone needs it. Sometimes it's gonna be okay. All in all, I just try to not spend a lot of fun money, and then just be conscious of what I'm spending my money on. I don't go out and do a lot of like crazy fun things all the time, but I do let myself have some fun sometimes. Whether it's like just Sunday going to a coffee shop once a month, like giving myself a little bit of a reward to get through it, because vet school is hard, and like you can't just be miserable and not ever spend money on just, you know, going out to eat once. Like, and that's where the budget comes in. Like, know where your money is going, so then you can have access to maybe $5 every month, or $10, or however much that you reward yourself with. The other option is to get a student job. Some of the universities, whether you're an undergrad or you're in vet school, offer student jobs, and they can pay decently good pay, and they work with your school schedule a lot better than working off campus. Definitely consider off campus if on campus doesn't work with your schedule. However, make sure that you're devoting enough time to studying, because you're in school, studying is important, and make sure that your employers know that, but make sure you still are working hard as much as they are paying you. Just consider getting a job, and typically universities only let students work 20 hours per week, and I worked 20 hours in undergrad, and I made it work while studying because I was working a desk job and able to study at the desk. Sometimes it's not a lot of money, but the short amount of money that it is could pay for your utilities, gas, or groceries for the month, or maybe dog food or maybe cat food. Any little amount counts, and then if you can put $5 or $10 away towards savings or an investment fund, it counts in the future. Anyways, I hope this helps. If you have any other questions, comment down below or send me a message. Don't forget to check out my Instagram at Becoming Dr. Heidi. I'd be glad to hear from you and talk with you about anything that you're concerned about regarding vet school and see if I can help with anything. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask.